My name is Chef Ski, James Woroneski, and this is Cooking with Ski.
Hello, Chef Ski here, and nothing says comfort food better than a good pot of soup. So let's go ahead and get started and add in 3 tablespoons of butter. So we're going to allow it to slightly go ahead and melt down. And when we have the butter melted, we're going to be going ahead and putting in our sausage. That's going to allow us to go ahead and start putting a nice sear onto this smoky kielbasa sausage. Now we're just going to move it around, and if you want, if you're like me, you can go ahead and flip it over. But what we're looking for is to get a nice crust onto your sausage. So you can go ahead and move it around and go ahead and get it all nice and seared up for our soup. As you can see, it is coming along. We're starting to get that nice crust onto the sausage. I'm going to continue moving around until we get all the sausage nice and crusty. Now that we have the sausage done, we're going to go ahead and remove the sausage and set it off to the side. We'll come back and we'll put that in later. Now that we got the butter infused with that sausage, we're going to go ahead and add in our minced onions. We're going to go ahead and stir in the minced onions. We're going to saute those down. We're going to add a little bit of salt into it. What the salt's going to do is actually go ahead and pull some of the moisture out, and we're going to actually deglaze the bottom of the pan with the onions. Now that we have the onions done, I'm going to add a little bit of garlic in. You want to put the garlic in about 2, maybe 3 minutes at the most. You don't want to burn your garlic, but you do want to go ahead and give it fragrant. Now that we have the garlic and onions done, we're going to add in a couple tablespoons of flour. We're going ahead and make the roux, the thickening agent for the soup. We're going to use this flour and roux mixture with the onions, garlic, and butter. Now that we have the roux made, next step is going to be go ahead and add in a couple tablespoons of Hungarian paprika. That's the good stuff. You can get away with Spanish, but Hungarian is the way to go. Go ahead and stir that in and mix it into your roux. You want to be careful not to burn your paprika. Stir this in for maybe a minute at the most. Now that we've got the paprika and everything mixed in, we'll be adding in my homemade chicken stock. You want to bring this up to a simmer. You do want to go ahead and stir it occasionally so that it does not lump out onto your broth. So that's one of the far parts of working with a homemade soup. You get to stir it a little bit here. You want to go ahead and give your soup, not a stew, but your soup a little bit of stir. Because because we're getting ready right now. Everything's coming up to a simmer. All the flavors starting to come together. We're going to be getting ready to add in the next ingredient, which is going to be the chopped cabbage. Now, the chopped cabbage is going to add a nice little new texture to this. And when you use cabbage into a soup, it actually allows the soup to get a little bit sweeter. So we're going to go ahead and cook this down for about 10 minutes. Give the cabbage a chance to go ahead and soften up a little bit. Now that the cabbage has been simmering for about 10 minutes, it's kind of softened up a little bit. We're adding in the potatoes. The potatoes you want to go ahead and dice to where you go ahead and get them onto a soup spoon to have a little bit of that good flavor on each bite that you have. Now we're going to go ahead and bring this up to a boil, bring it down to a simmer, and we're going ahead and simmer this for about 30 minutes. And you'll know when your potatoes are done if you go ahead and move against the side of it and you go ahead and break it. Then you know your potatoes have softened up to be able where you can go ahead and enjoy them. Now that we had the potatoes done, this is my secret ingredient. We're going to add about 2 to 3 tablespoons of white vinegar. You can use apple cider, but I will go ahead and try white vinegar. Now we're getting ready to add in our sausage. So we're going to go ahead and let this simmer for about another 10 minutes. And we're pretty much going to be ready at that point. Now what you want to do is, before you do anything, is now to taste it to make sure that you adjust your seasoning as needed. And especially with potato soup, you may need to go ahead and add a little bit more salt in it, which I found out mine did. So here's where you go ahead and adjust your seasonings. Now that we have this really flavorful soup made, the last thing to do is put 2 large dollops of sour cream. If you put too much into it, if you think you put too much into it, you haven't put enough into it. What goes great along with this is a nice bread of crust bread. I have buttered rye bread. Will go along perfect with this. If you like this recipe, go ahead and give it a try. If you do, go ahead and leave comments. Let me know what you think about it. Enjoy.